Good morning and welcome back to today's class. We have already completed almost all the stories. Only one story is left for the entire academic year. So therefore, as I have already told you in the last class, today we will be starting a poem. I told you that we will be starting poem number 5, that is Crossing the Bar by Alfred Lord Tennyson, but that won't be the poem we are going to begin today. We will be studying another very small poem named We Are the Music Makers. Poem number 10, We Are the Music Makers. So therefore, let me request the students to open page number 32 from your textbook. Page number 32 of your textbook, the last poem, the last page. Point number 10, we are the music makers, and the explanation of which, the paraphrase explanation of the poem is given on page number 157 in your workbook. So students, be ready with page number 157 of your workbook as well as page number 32 from your textbook. So we will begin now page number 32. So before we begin the poem, as we always used it to do in the class, we will just go through the poem in its gist. In the nutshell, it's given on the previous page, that is on page number 31. So therefore, let me remind you to open page number 31 before we move to page number 32. All of you please take page number 31 and go through the second paragraph, which is important for us because it explains something related to the poem. So the second paragraph, line number 3 onwards, page number 31, the second paragraph about the author, about the poet, the second paragraph from line number 3. So I am going to read. It's a poem dedicated to artists, poets, writers and musicians, people who live in the world of fantasy and build utopias of their own. They are world losers and world forsakers. People who have opted out of the rat race to pursue their dreams and perhaps through their dreams bring about changes in the world. This is what we come across over here in this world. It's a poem dedicated to, this is a poem which is dedicated to all the artists, which means it include all kinds of artistic people, namely the poets. Poets are a group of artists. Then we have the writers, different writers, maybe the story writers, novel writers, play writers, any form of writers. And we have the musicians, the people who compose the music as well as the people who write the music, etc. are the people who live in the world of fantasy, and they are the people who lived in an imaginative world, the world of fantasy, and build utopias of their own. Utopias means an imagined world. Through their writings, through their artistical work, they imagine the place as a perfect place like that of heaven. That is what the meaning of the word utopias of their own. They create they build utopias. They imagine, utopia is an imagination, a place of imagination, an imagined place where everything is perfect, where everything is perfect like that of heaven. So they create all these artists, namely, as we have already seen, the poets, writers, musicians, etc. are the people, they create such kind of utopian world through their writings. And they are world losers and the world forsakers. Forsaker means sacrifice everything. They are the people who sacrifice everything. They are considered to be the world losers. Why are these artists considered to be the world losers? They are considered to be the world losers because they do not possess the successful materials or successful things of this material world. So therefore, they do not concentrate much on their financial well-being. They do not much think about to have to own so many things in their own life. So therefore, they are considered to be the world losers. According to the sight of the world, according to the eyes of the world, they do not have lot of financial resources with them. So therefore, they are considered to be the poets. All group of artists are considered to be the world losers as well as the world forsakers, because they have totally given up the world. They have totally sacrifice the world as well as everything that is considered to be rich in the world. So therefore, people consider all these artistic people as world losers as well as the world forsakers. people who have opted out of the rat race. Today we see that it is almost like a rat race. It's a kind of competition. People struggling to amass more and more wealth. That is what we call by the word rat race. People are running behind wealth, and they have opted out from that. They separated themselves from this rat race of amassing lot of material wealth. They are the people who have opted, they have chosen, opted out of the rat race, from the rat race of this world, from this competitive world. They separated themselves to pursue their dream. They wanted to achieve their dream. They have certain dreams in their life, and they try to achieve those dreams, and perhaps through their dreams bring about changes in the world. And their main purpose is they have their dream to be accomplished, and through these dreams, the accomplishment of these dreams, they wanted to bring out a radical change in the world. That is what these people always look for. So that is what the introduction of the poem is. We come across over here in the poem in nutshell. Once again, let's see. The entire poem is dedicated to all sorts of artists. Artists are the people who belong to the category of the musicians. They may be the musicians, they may be the writers, they may be the painters, etc. Such kind of people, they have the ambition in their life, and they try to fulfill their dreams and bring out changes in this world, and they make such a kind of world. It is an utopian world, a world with full of perfection. That is what these people try in their life. Let's begin. We are the music makers. Here the word we is meant for all the artists. We is meant for, the word we is meant for all the artists, including the musicians, writers, poets, painters, etc. are the artists. So that is what the word we are the music makers. So here the poet says that we are the people who make the music. We are the musicians. That is what musicians over here means, the music of the world. The music of this world, the rhythm of the world is controlled by we, the artists. That is what the title of the poem, we are the music makers. So now let us begin. We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams, wandering by launch sea breakers, and sitting by desolate streams, world losers and world forsakers, upon whom the pale moon gleams. Yet we are the movers and shakers of the world forever, it seems. That's what the first stanza is. Let us move to the first stanza now. We are the music makers. The poet here says that we, all the artists, that is what I have already told you by the word we here meant for. We are the music makers. We are the people who compose the music. We are the musicians. We are the people upon whose dreams the movement of this world is. So the poem is entirely dedicated to all kinds of artists. That is what the purpose of the poet when he composed this poem. We are the music makers. We are the musicians. We the musicians, we the writers, we the poet, we the painters are the real musician. That is what he says. And we are the dreamers of dreams. Dreamers of dream over here means it is refers to all group of artists who dream to build an utopian world. They are the people who try to create they are the people who try to make a kind of utopian world. I have already told you what utopian world is. It's a kind of imaginative world where everything is perfect, like the perfection seen over there in the heaven. So we are the people who makes, and that is what the poet speaks here. We are the dreamers of dreams. We are the people who dream in order to build an utopian world. So that is what the meaning of the word. The poet here says that we are the dreamers of dreams. We are the people upon whose writings, upon whose paintings, upon whose poems the entire world, a world of perfection is being created. So therefore we are the dreamers of dreams. We are the people who give a kind of intuition to the people, so that creates or that make the other readers to dream out for a better tomorrow. So therefore the poet says we are the dreamers of dreams, wandering by lone sea breakers. So he says that we are the people who used to wander alone, wander by lone. Lone over here means wander alone. All these artistical group of people, They often try to isolate themselves from the rest of the people there. They are the people who are almost always alone. They try to be, they enjoy the silence of the places. So that is the reason here the poet says, we used to wander by lone. We used to wander all alone. Where sea breakers. Sea breakers means maybe the structure, rigid structure that is built to protect the shore from erosion. So in order to protect the seashore from the erosion, large pieces of stones or large, so many things that are kept over there so that the shore will be well protected from erosion. So they used to, maybe normally we see in the beaches and all, if you go, we see that large pieces of stones are placed over there in order to protect when the sea water comes from, especially when during the time of high tide. The shore has to be well protected. So therefore they protect the shore by placing so many pieces of large boulders, and that is what is meant by the word over here, sea breakers. So here the poet says that at times, or there are occasions, we used to wander on, we used to loiter all alone through the sea breakers. We used to wander alone by the sea breakers and sitting by the desolate streams. And we used to sit isolated, totally isolated, deserted, that is desolate streams nearby the riverside, nearby the brooks, maybe nearby the brook, we used to sit all alone. We are the people, once again let's see that the poet wanted to say that all these kinds of artistical people, they used to get themselves isolated from the world. So that is why he says that sometimes we used to wander all alone towards the sea breakers, wandering all alone, not with the companions. So that is the moments which when they get a lot of ideas in their mind. So therefore they used to keep themselves separated from the company of other people. So they used to wander. We wander all alone through the sea breakers, and we used to sit nearby the riverside. That is what the next part we see. And sitting by the desolate stream. Desolate stream over here means the isolated streams, the deserted streams. Those are the places we used to sit all alone. World losers and world forsakers. The world consider them, the people of the world consider the artists as world losers as well as the world forsakers. The reason maybe they have totally forsaken the world. Artists are the world losers and forsakers because they abandon the material world for the purpose of artistic pursuits. They wanted to achieve something in their art, and since they dedicate their entire life for the purpose of pursuing something, artistic perfection, that is what they wanted to make in their life. So therefore they sacrifice everything else, sacrifice the happiness in their life. So therefore they are considered to be the world forsakers as well as the world losers. World losers and world forsakers, upon whom the pale moon gleams. The moon doesn't shine very brightly upon us. The moon, the word used over here is upon whom, upon us, the world losers as well as the world forsakers, the pale moon, the dim moon, not the shining moon, gleams. The moon shines very, very faintly upon us. That is what the poet says here. Yet we are the world movers and world shakers. Still the poet says that despite remaining aloof from the rest of the world, wandering all alone, sitting all alone nearby the riverside, and we are considered to be the world losers as well as the world forsakers. Despite this fact, yet we are the movers and the shakers. Even after remaining aloof from the rest of the society, we stir the world. We stir the world over here means through our writing, we bring out lot of changes in the mind of the people. So that is what, though we keep ourselves separated from the rest of the people, but at the same time, our writings bring out a kind of great feeling in the heart of the people, a kind of stir in the heart of the people, of the world forever it seems. So the poet once again here says that because of their artistical work, lot of changes are being created in the entire world. Artists move and shake the world through their art, through their artistical work, Through their writings, they are able to stir the hearts of the people, bring out a kind of radical change in the life of the people, though they keep themselves isolated from the rest of the world, though they are considered to be the world losers as well as the world forsakers. Let us go through the stanza explanation. Page number 157 in your workbook. Page number 167. Please open page number 157 in your workbook. Stanza number 1. The poet speaks through the collective voice we of all the artists. He uses the word we meant for all the artists, including the musicians, writers, poets, painters, etc. The poet considers artists as music makers and dreamers of dreams. They are the real music makers as well as they are the dreamers of dreams. Create such kind of utopian ideas in the mind of the people, a kind of perfect world. Music has the ability to transfer one from mundane realities to the world full of dreams. Mundane means worldly, maybe from the boring realities, from the dull realities, the people are to be brought into full of dreams, a world filled with full of dreams. Music has the ability to transfer one from mundane realities, from the worldly realities, from the dull realities of the world, from the boring realities of the world to a world full of dreams. Through their writings, through their artistical works, they wanted to make the people with the people of dreams, ambitions. The artists are capable of creating dream-like utopian world. They wanted to bring out a kind of utopian world, a world where there is only perfection. The artists wander alone by the seashores or sometimes sit and contemplate on isolated streams. They are the people who wander all alone. That is what we saw nearby the seashores, or sometimes they sit and contemplate on the isolated streams. They used to sit all alone and they used to meditate. That is what contemplate on isolated streams. They are considered by the society as the losers and forsakers. The other society, the members of the society, consider these kinds of artists as world losers as well as the world forsakers, as they remain aloof and do not engage themselves in worldly pursuits. They do not run after the material wealth of the world, and that is the reason they are considered to be the world losers as well as the world forsakers by the people in the society. Though they remain aloof from the society, they are the movers and shakers in the real sense. Even though they keep themselves separated from the rest of the world, they are the movers and shakers in the real sense. In the true sense, if we see, they are the people who are the cause for great changes that are to be or that are brought in the world. Through their art, be it music, painting, or their writing, they stir the world, they stir the mind of the people, they bring out a lot of changes in the mind of the people, and their powerful art rebel against the status quo. Status quo means it's a Latin phrase used to bring out the meaning of the state of affairs, which means the existing situation. From the existing situation to bring about a change, from the existing situation a change that has to be brought. That is what these people are capable of doing through their artistical work. So that is what we come across over there in the first stanza. Now let us begin the stanza number 2. With wonderful deathless deities, we build up the world's great cities, and out of a fabulous story we fashion an empire's glory. One man with a dream at pleasure shall go forth and conquer a crown, and three with a new song's measure can trample an empire down. So let us see the second stanza. With wonderful deathless deities. Deities over here means the songs. So the deathless deities. Deathless over here means the everlasting. With their everlasting song, maybe by a poet or by a musician. Even if the poet dies, but the poem remains everlasting through their everlasting poems. That is immortal song. No, that lives forever. Immortal short songs created by a poet. poet with wonderful deathless ditties. Deathless ditties over here means everlasting songs. An immortal song that is made by a poet or a musician. We build up the world's great cities. Through our writings, we are able to bring out the great cities of the world. The people get the knowledge about the great cities of the world even after the poet is no more. When the poet is dead, but the poem remains, because the poems are deathless. They are deathless ditties, and through their poems people will get the knowledge related to the greatness of different cities. That is what he says in these two lines. The poet says that with wonderful deathless ditties we build up the world's great cities. Through our poems we are able to bring out the greatness of the wonderful cities, and it remains as deathless, everlasting. Through our everlasting songs we can, or we are able to build up the world's greatest cities. And out of a fabulous story, maybe by a story writer, that is what, similarly by a story writer, we saw what a poet has done. The poet, through his deathless ditties, the poet is able to create the wonderful cities, and the people get the knowledge related to the greatness of the cities. Similarly, a person who writes the short stories, and out of a fabulous story, through a wonderful story, we fashion an empire's glory. We are able to give shapes to the glory of an empire, an extensive territory. We know the empire, no? Empire's glory can be expressed through the people, to the people, through their writing. That is what a story writer is capable of doing. A poet, through his poem, is able to bring out the greatness of different cities, and the same thing is done by a story writer as well. The empire's glory can be through the fabulous story. A story writer or a writer is able to bring out the greatness of an empire. And one man with a dream at pleasure, and a person through his dream at pleasure shall go forth and conquer a town. And again the poet says that through his writing, through the writing of a writer can give a man the liberty to dream at pleasure. A person will get an inspiration, and he dreams at his pleasure, whenever he is free, at his leisure, and move forward to conquer the town. And that person will be able to go further, move forward in order to conquer a town. A place can be conquered by an individual by reading the writing which is done by an artistical person. A person at his leisure time, at his free time, he may read about what is written by an artist, maybe a writer, maybe by a poet, and later he tries to conquer a place, try to conquer the town. Town over here means conquer the crown. Conquer the crown over here means conquer a kingdom. A person may be able even to conquer a kingdom by the writing. That is an inspiration that a person gets by reading the poem or by reading a story by the poet or by a writer. And 3 with a new song's measure. And the poet here says that one person, he has already told that he may go by getting inspired by the reading. By reading the work that is written by an artist, a person may go and he may conquer a town, he may conquer a crown. That is what we saw in first part. And another person, what the next person may be doing after reading something, a third with a new song's measure can trample an empire down. Trample over here means can completely destroy the empire, collapse. He may be the cause for a revolution to be created in order to bring the downfall of an empire. An empire's downfall, another empire's downfall can be done by a person by reading the writing of an artist. Once again, let's see the last 4 lines. We saw that a person may get inspiration by reading the writing of an artist, and after that he may go at his leisure time, he reads it and he gets the inspiration, and once he got inspired, he move and he may be able to capture a crown. That is what one person may be doing. At the same time, another person, he may not be dissatisfied with all sorts of the evil that is going on at a place. So therefore that person may go and he makes a revolution over there. He may be a cause for the revolution there, and he may bring the downfall of an empire. The entire empire can be totally destroyed by such kind of a person. So that is what the power of music is, and that is what we saw in the second stanza. And now let us go through the explanation given in the workbook in stanza number 2. Again, page number 157, stanza explanation. In the second stanza, the poet draws our attention to the powerful creations of several artists. A poet or a musician can build up the world's great cities in his wonderful everlasting song. With the help of their wonderful everlasting songs, they are able to build up the world's great cities. People get the knowledge, people get the awareness of the knowledge related to the world's great cities. What are the things that were followed in these great cities? That knowledge people get through the artistical work of maybe the writer, maybe the poet. Similarly, a writer's story can fabulously give shape to empire and its glory. Through the story, the people will come to know about the glory of an empire. Through his writing, a writer can give man the liberty to dream at pleasure and to move forward to conquer a crown. An inspiration a person may get, and he may go forward, he may move forward in order to conquer a town. At the same time, a songwriter can give another man the freedom to bring about a revolution and bring the downfall of an empire. The same thing can happen, the downfall of an empire, when a person is quite unhappy with what is going on at a place. The person may go over there when he sees injustice that is taken place over there. He may be a cause for a revolution and bring the downfall of an empire. That is what the power of artists are. That is what we saw in the second paragraph. And let us proceed to stanza number 3 now. We, in the ages lying in the buried past of the earth, built Nineveh with our sighing, and Babel itself with our mirth, and overthrew them with prophesying to the old of the new world's worth. For each age is a dream that is dying, or one that is coming to birth. Okay, let's see the explanation of the last stanza. We again, the artist, in the ages lying, from the ancient time. The poet here says that from the ancient time, we the artists are able to, in the buried past of the world, we are able to reveal the hidden history of the earth. The poet says that the hidden history of the earth, we are able to bring back once again to the hands of the people, to the eyes of the people. Built Nineveh. So Nineveh is a place, please remember, Nineveh is a place. That part we will see the explanation first. Nineveh with our sighing. Nineveh was a city in the Assyrian Empire, that is in the Mesopotamian kingdom, where the complete downfall of the territory has taken place. So when the poet is disappointed from the history, from the past of the history, the poet here says that the writer or an artist, when he is distressed, he is not in happiness, when he is quite dissatisfied with anything in the world, the poet brings out the Nineveh city, which was totally destructed. Nineveh is a sign of destruction, the city which is totally destructed. And when the poet is in mirth, that is what the next part is, and Babel itself, Babel Tower itself with our mirth. When the poet is happy, in the place of Nineveh, poet brings out the Babel Tower. Babel Tower means it's such a kind of tower which was almost touching to the sky. That is what they tried to make. This is from biblical allusion. So that is well explained over there in your workbook. Let's open page number 155, the stanza number 3. The beginning part of it, the allusions related to the biblical allusion related to Nineveh as well as Babel is explained. So therefore, let us first go through it, and after that we will come to the textbook once again. So let us read that part. Stanza number 3 on page number 158. The poet now alludes to biblical cities of Nineveh and Babel, suggesting the idea of art as an almost divine creation. Art is a divine creation. That is what the poet wants to bring it over here. That here stands for art in itself create divinity. Art in itself is divine. It creates a kind of godly feeling. Art in itself creates divinity. Nineveh was the ancient flourishing capital. It was the well flourishing capital of Assyrian Empire, that is a Mesopotamian kingdom, which came to ruins and was never rebuilt. It was in its growth and prosperity, but once it was ruined, it was never rebuilt. So that is what the speciality of Nineveh is. So the purpose of poet bringing out it over here is, there are some times when the poet is disappointed with the situations of the world, or an artist is unhappy with the situations of the world. So that time from the history, artists bring about, or a poet or a writer bring about Nineveh. Nineveh is meant for a kind of destruction. When the poet is depressed, an artist is depressed from the past of the history, he may bring about the allusions related to Nineveh. Nineveh was a well flourishing city in the Mesopotamian kingdom. But once it got ruined, and its ruin was almost forever. So that is the reason when the poet is disappointed with, poet brings the example of Nineveh. So comparison is clear, I suppose. So when the poet is totally disappointed from the history, poet or the writer, an artist bring out the example of Nineveh. Because Nineveh was a flourishing city and it got ruined, and its ruin was a permanent ruin. That is the reason an artist bring about, when he is distressed, he brings forth the example of Nineveh. Now let us move to the next one. The people of Babel sought to make a tower so high that it would reach heaven. They wanted to create such a kind of the city, the people of Babel. Babel is a city. So there these people decided that they will make a tower which will touch or which will reach up to heaven. That is what they thought of creating. Construction, reaching a building that human beings will be able to build such a kind of tower which would be touching the sky even. It is believed that since the humans wanted to claim equality with God, it was almost the people of Babel was challenging God. They wanted to make themselves equal, par with God. So it is believed that since humans wanted to claim equality with God by building a tall, proud symbol of their unity and strength, when people are united together, they will be very powerful. And that is what the idea of the people of Babel were. And therefore, the people that lived in the city of Babel, they decided to make such a huge tower which will touch the heaven. And let's see what happened then. So it was a proud symbol of their unity and strength. The purpose of Babel Tower was in order to indicate the proud symbol. The writer has very clearly used the term over here, not the symbol of their unity. It is a proud symbol of their unity as well as their strength. God punished them as they challenged God. It was almost like a challenge towards God. So God punished them by giving them different languages. The people who lived in the same city of Babylon, they were not able to speak the same language. The people who lived at Babel, they were not able to speak the same language. God punished them by giving them different language. It was the symbol or the sign of their unity and strength, where their unity is lost because they spoke different languages. And it was done so that people could not communicate with one another. Such a huge tower cannot be created unless and until they were able to communicate with each other. That was the reason God punished them by giving them different languages. The people who spoke the same language started speaking differently. So they were not able to understand each other and were not able to build the tower. And they were not able to build such a kind of tower that touches the sky. That is what the biblical allusion related to Babel, as well as allusion related to Nineveh. So let us proceed now once again. Now this is what the implication. Now let us move to the original textbook. So there are at times, there are certain occasions when the poets are depressed. So they bring the example of a downfall of a kingdom. That is what in Nineveh, the entire downfall, the destruction. Once it started ruined, it ruined forever. Again, the reconstruction of the city has never taken place. So they bring out the example from the history. They bring out the example of Nineveh when the poet is distressed. At the same time, when the poet is happy with, or the writer is happy with, or an artist, better to use the word an artist, when an artist is happy with, he brings out the example of Babel. That is such a kind of big tower, such a kind of huge tower. It indicates the rise and fall of humanity, or the rise and fall of poets' happiness as well as disappointment in his life. And overthrew them with the prophesying. Prophesying means forecasting, predicting to the old of the new world's worth. Yes, the poet believes here. So the explanation is given in paragraph number 2 under stanza number 3. Let us move to that part. The poet believes that in the ancient times that now lie hidden in the history of the earth, when the artists were distressed, they built Nineveh. When they were unhappy, when they were disappointed, they built Nineveh. And when they were filled with joy, they rose up with a Babel. And Nineveh and Babel are the symbol of human rise and subsequent fall. Human rise as well as a fall. They reflect the artist's power to create and destroy the same piece of art. Creation as well as the destruction of the same piece of art. And the last part is, the utopia of the old world is then deconstructed by prophesying the new world's worth. The utopia of the old one, that is deconstructed by prophesying the new world's worth. And it is only an artist. That is what the last part it is spoken about. For each age is a dream that is dying, or one that is coming up. The dreams as well as the aspiration die in each age, each time period. The aspiration that comes to the life of an individual, the dream that comes to a nation, that comes to an age, and it has to come to an end, so that only new one can come up. So that is what the last part is. So it is only an artist, that is a musician, a painter, a poet, or a writer who can create something only to destroy it for a better and worthy future. Destruction is for a better future, a worthier future. Thus dreams and aspiration die in each era, so that new ones can come to life. Yes, the destruction is inevitable. The dreams, aspiration must die in each era, each time period. That must come to an end, so that the new ones can come to life. Therefore, a new ideology, a new principle, a new thing will come into life. Yes, that is the end of the poem. And as the theme of the poem, we saw that the transformative power of art. Art has a great power to transfer the mentality, to bring out the transformation in the mentality of the people. That is what we saw. Through the same art, the great cities are created. A person is able to acquire crown, whereas the same art has the power to tumble them down. In that way, a lot of transformative power is there in the art. The heart of the people will be stirred properly, and they get a lot of inspiration. So that is what the theme of the poem, We Are the Music Makers. So we have, dear students, we have already completed the course for the first semester examination, and do learn and complete all the assigned work, mainly solving the question answers given in all the workbooks, drama, short story, as well as the poem workbook. Thank you, and do enjoy the rest of your holidays.